In this video, we are going to discuss Newton's laws of motion. So far, we have only discussed how to describe the motion of a particle. For example, we know how to describe the motion of a projectile if we are provided with its initial speed and projection angle. In this chapter, we are going to discuss how force acting on an object affects its motion. Aristotle's fallacy. In our day-to-day lives, we come across various motions which appear to come to rest when external forces are removed. For example, imagine that you are driving a car and you switch off the car's engine. The car will come to rest after traveling a certain distance. From similar observations, Aristotle, a Greek thinker, came to the conclusion that an external force is required to keep an object in motion. And this came to known as Aristotelian law of motion. Whether it is correct or not, we will see in the next slide. Galileo's double inclined plane experiment. For the first time, Galileo challenged Aristotelian law of motion. As shown in the figure, Galileo dropped a ball from a certain height down a smooth inclined plane. He observed that the final height of the object attained is the same as the initial height in each case. However, as you can see in diagram, in case B, the object will have to travel a longer distance in order to achieve the height h, and in the limiting case, in case C, where the slope of the second inclined plane is 0, the object will have to travel an infinite distance before it comes to rest. Based on these observations, Galileo concluded that in absence of net external force, a body at rest continues to remain at rest and a body in motion continues to move with a uniform velocity. And this tendency of the object to resist any change in its state of motion is called inertia, and this law is called law of inertia. Newton's first law of motion. It states that every object continues to be in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled by an external force to change its state. It is worth to note that this law is nothing but a reformulation of Galileo's law of inertia. For example, an object kept on a horizontal table will remain at rest unless compelled by any external force, or an object rolling over a horizontal surface with a constant velocity will keep moving with constant velocity in absence of air and friction. Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion states that the applied force on an object is proportional to its rate of change of momentum with time, and the mathematical expression for the above law is F net is equals to m into a, where a is the acceleration of the object. Note that the above law is applicable only in inertial frame of reference, and we recount for only external forces. Intermolecular forces of the object do not recount for any change in its momentum. Why? We will see in the next slide. Finally, Newton's third law of motion. It states that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Suppose there are two interactive particles, particle 1 and particle 2. The interactive forces between these two particles will be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Okay. These two forces act simultaneously. These two forces act on two different objects, and these two forces must be of the same type: gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. For example, imagine that a ball is kept on a horizontal table. The normal force from the table to the ball and the normal force from the ball to the table will be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction.